Hey, thanks for taking our questions. Wanted to follow up on the company conforming aircraft. Can you provide any sort of differences or any changes you make or you've made relative to the demonstrator and then potentially as you move to the fully conforming aircraft? And also, should we interpret your comments about the pilot flight in second half, meaning that after you do that, you'll have a fully conforming aircraft, let's say by the first quarter of next year?
Thanks for the question. Let me a lot of questions loaded here. Let me step back here and maybe talk through how we group this. So in terms of build to conformity, really we can think about the airplanes we're going to manufacture in two groups. One is a series of company conforming airplanes, and the next one is the FAA conforming airplanes. The purpose of the first part is really to build the airplane to the intended design and under a applicable level of our quality management system. We do that in order to effectively dry run the testing that we will eventually rerun again and demonstrate with the second group of airplanes, which is the FAA conformity. Each one of the airplanes in the company conformity group is staged to progressively build on the previous one. Each of one of these is focused on a specific set of features. And generally speaking, we tend to look at some of the more essential and critical features in the first airplane and progressively build on that as we continue to build out. So there may be things like interior lighting or environmental control systems that may not be as critical to address in the first aircraft, and we'll work through these in the follow-on builds. But for all intended purposes, our design is firmed up here, and it's really about building against that design and starting to execute on our testing from here on.
And then in terms of the fully conforming version, do you have a sense or do you have a target of when that will be ready?
We're not communicating updates on that front. Really, the focus this year is to build and deliver on the piloted flight, or I should say the pilot onboard flight. Of course, all of our airplanes have been piloted. This is about having the pilot be on board.
Understood. And then separate question on just the battery strategy. I think a few of the competitors out there have come up pretty publicly using cylindrical. I think two of them are using monocell. Do you have any updates on kind of what you're planning to do or what you're doing and how that has evolved?
Thanks, Edison. This is Joby. So on the battery, we continue to be very pleased with the performance of our battery systems, including the safety features around our battery system and the remarkable performance that we've been able to deliver with it. And again, I'd like to highlight how important we think the life cycle of the batteries is to the operating economics of our service and the environmental impact of replacing the battery pack. And as we've stated previously, we've demonstrated more than 10,000 representative flight cycles in the lab. And during the flight tests of our prototype aircraft, we've also seen really fantastic life out of them. And then just to go back to the heart of your question on safety again, safety is our number one priority, and it's inherent in everything that we've done to design our battery system.
Got it. And if I could sneak just one more in, I know you effectively got the MOC. Just wondering on that remaining small piece, is that get officially 100% tied up later next year? How do we think about just timing-wise? When does that become 100%? I know it's a small piece, but just curious.
Yeah, thank you. So our expectation is that we will get to the very close to 100%, if not 100% this year. Like I mentioned earlier, those are, there's a small percentage here and there that may evolve over time. But for the most part, this is really inconsequential. Really what matters is that we've been able to proceed into the certification plans and the test plans. So the fact that those have been unlocked is really what's critical here in moving the program forward.